Hey movie junkies, welcome back to Twin Flicks. We always celebrating the magic of movies and most importantly, physical media with you. We are talking about this that was just released, I believe last week from Criterion, Malcolm X on 4K UHD. Now I never thought in a million years that Malcolm X would get a UHD release, but never say never because obviously it's here from Criterion. And Malcolm X has been one of my favorite films of all time. In fact, when I first started this channel almost 7 years ago, I did a film analysis of Malcolm X. So if you want to check that out, go check it out and you'll see how bad my videos were 7 years ago. Now, this is a film where both Spike Lee and Denzel Washington just poured their hearts and soul into this film. Spike Lee, to this day, still says that Malcolm X is his masterpiece that he'll never top. So, of course, I was very excited when Criterion announced that they were allowed permission to go into the vaults and give Malcolm X a full 16-bit 4K restoration with HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision grading that was supervised and approved by the film's DP, Ernest Dickerson, giving this film a 4K DI. And I still have the previous Blu-ray. This is a cool digibook or media book, however you want to call it. So we're going to take a look and compare the differences here between the Warner Brothers Blu-ray release and this new 4K UHD release from Criterion. And as usual, I have screenshots so you can compare the differences for yourself. So let's get to it. Now, as soon as I popped this UHD into the player and pressed play, it didn't take long to realize that Criterion's native 4K stands well above Warner Brothers Blu-ray. First thing that's been corrected is the aspect ratio. On both the previous DVD and Blu-ray releases, Warner Brothers for some reason framed the film at 1.78 to 1. This was incorrect. The 4K has been properly reframed with the supervision of the film's DP, Ernest Dickerson, to its correct ratio of 1.85 to 1, which may not sound like it makes a huge difference, but when you compare the two, it makes a noticeable difference. Color reproduction is exceptional. This is an absolutely luminous presentation that handles the film's various visual aesthetics perfectly well. And all these color shifting tones are vastly improved over the Blu-ray. And thanks to the help of HDR and Dolby Vision grading, it only enhances all the brilliant use of colors without sacrificing any of the original intended look of the film from the source material. Starting right out of the gate at the beginning of the film with the vibrant blue, red, and yellow zoot suits that ignite the screen, primaries are extraordinary with different colors on full display here. Saturation and contrast is well balanced and consistent throughout. One thing I noticed when comparing the Blu-ray to this UHD is that the prison scenes has a more cool bluish look to it than the Blu-ray did, that I think works well. It works better, giving a more versatile tone to the scenes. While outside in the prison yard looks lush and rich, skin tones also look much more natural and realistic, and the black levels have a huge improvement here over the Blu-ray. That's richer and deeper inky blacks that draws out the colors even more so. Also, shadow details and shading is more revealing with more nuanced level of depth and density to it, while the Blu-ray sacrificed it by using boosted contrast levels that led to a lot of visible crushing throughout the presentation. Another vast improvement is with the high level of detail and texturals that are constantly razor sharp. A great example and one of the biggest visual improvements is when Malcolm imagines talking to Muhammad. I mean, you can clearly see the differences here. The 4K looks much more visionary or ghostly looking, where we can now clearly see through Muhammad, unlike the Blu-ray where you just didn't have that. The full strength of the production design and stitching and textures of clothing, vehicles, buildings, busy, bustling streets, interiors with objects looking incredible, along with improved background activity as well, including details I've never noticed before, and I've owned this movie ever since it came out on Laserdisc. Facial close-ups reveal pores and skin imperfections, lines, facial hair is much more noticeable. The depth in this UHD is fantastic. There is also a real sense of dimensionality, especially with crowds during Malcolm X's speeches and during the Egypt and Mecca sequences are vastly improved with a true sense of density and more spaciousness that just looks outstanding, and something, again, the Blu-ray completely struggled with. Grain is fully intact here with a fine layer of grain that's very consistent throughout the film, drawing out even more details and depth, giving a very beautiful filmic appearance that the Blu-ray just never had. Now, Spike Lee understands the art of visual language of film in a way where it completely immerses you into the film's environment and makes you think about the message of the film. And now we have a faithful, truer sense of Spike Lee's visual language with Malcolm X, along with Ernest Dickerson's impeccable cinematography, with this gorgeous 4K UHD. And I just honestly can't see Malcolm X looking any better than this. All right, well, now we're going to get into the audio. And Criterion, unfortunately, didn't spring for a new Dolby Atmos mix, which was really disappointing. That was a huge missed opportunity for Criterion. It would have been great to fully utilize the film's sound design. Instead, we have the same DTS HD 5.1 lossless track as on the previous Blu-ray release. All right, so my overall score for Criterion's 4K UHD presentation of Malcolm X for the video and audio, I'm going to give it a resounding 5 out of 5. This is just a gorgeous 4K UHD presentation that is well worth picking up. But now I want to hear from you. Head over to the comments section and let me know, when you compare the differences here between the Blu-ray and the 4K, which do you think looks better? Or do you see any comparison at all? Again, let me know over in the comments. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me with this 4K comparison review. Let's get rid of that. If you want to pick this up, down below in the description is a link where you can order it from. As always, keep physical media alive, and I'll see you next time.